Congratulations to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics win their 18th world title, first championship, I think, in 16 years. So, with that being said, props to the Boston Celtics. As far as the players go, I like the players, but as far as the city of Boston go, they can get the middle finger because one, for that city being historically racist and only liking niggas when they do something for them in which win a championship. Outside of that, because I don't know if you guys heard about the incident, what happened with Jaylen Brown, where he got called the N word. Because some ignorant white woman didn't know who he was. But with that being said, just wanted to get that out the way. And it's ironic, Christoph Porzingis, a guy that was accused of kidnapping, holding a black woman against her will and violating her, and quote unquote, from what she said, called her his black sex slave. But he wins the championship. He got away with that. Yeah, I'm gonna be condescending and sarcastic, like a lot of you you know people with the powdered milk like. But with that being said, let's go. Um, I know people are saying that the Boston Celtics didn't play nobody to get there, and they had a lot of things fall in their favor. Listen, I'm not going to do that to the Boston Celtics. Listen, at the end of the day, this isn't the NFL. This isn't, Major League Baseball without interleague play occasionally. You play an 82 game schedule. You play every team. You play all 32 NBA teams. You don't get a bye series. You play the same 7 game series just like every other team. To advance to the next round, you have to win 4 out of 7 games. It's as simple as that, and there's no way to put it. You can't sugarcoat it. The Boston Celtics had the best record in the league. They were the best team, and the best team prevailed. And that's just basically the bottom line. They won that championship fair and square. To say, well, they didn't listen, can't do that. Um, I wonder, do Milwaukee miss Drew Holiday? Woo, you got. I mean, I'm just saying, but Boston was great. Everybody chipped in. Everybody chipped in for the most part. The starting lineup, everybody played their role. You know, Derek White, Drew Holiday, um, Jason Tatum came up big. Jaylen Brown was solid, except for he was solid throughout this whole series, except for what I'm saying, except for game 4. Um, as far as the Dallas Maverick go, I'm gonna talk about that in a separate video. Listen, you guys, brace yourself. Kyrie Irving is gonna get torn to shreds. Stephen A. Smith is somewhere licking his chops. He probably somewhere doing unthinkable acts to himself, because he can't wait to rip Kyrie Irving to shreds. You know, um, the basketball gods in the league, we all wanted them, not we. We all know that they wanted the Boston Celtics to win. Okay, but I will say this much. No complaints about the series for the most part. Didn't really think nothing was suspect except for game 4, where many people believe that the Boston Celtics just really threw that game because they wanted to close, they just wanted to close the Mavericks out in Boston at home. Most teams like winning the chip at home. And to be honest with you, um, they were the better team. They did what they wanted to do with the Mavericks. For the most part, this wasn't really much of a competitive series. This might be one of the more easier championships the Boston Celtics won because they really didn't have to work for it. I think if they really, really, really wanted to, I think they could have swept the Boston Celtics, but they decided they wanted to, give them one game, and they wanted the Mavericks to save face and at least get one game. Now, is the NBA itself probably pissed off about this series? Absolutely. Because the NBA doesn't like quick, short series. The NBA likes for these series to be competitive. They like for them to go at least 6 games. Because the longer these series go, the more money they make in advertisement and apparel and et cetera, et cetera. So they don't like non-competitive finals. And to be honest with you guys, for the most part, you just got to tell the truth. This wasn't very, very competitive finals. It may look like it could have been at times, but the Boston Celtics pretty much had their way. When you look at the end results and see how it ended, the Boston Celtics pretty much throughout this series. I don't want to go as far as to say that they toyed with the Dallas Mavericks, but clearly the Dallas Mavericks were overmatched. They were in over their head. They just didn't have enough firepower to compete with the Boston Celtics, and that's just the bottom line, and that's okay. That is okay. You know, I think it would have been more. I think it would have been more interesting if the Timberwolves had played the Boston Celtics. Which, by the way, I'm gonna keep it 100. I think if the Timberwolves keep they team intact, I'm already leaning towards the Timberwolves to go to the finals. I think the Timberwolves I think the Timberwolves, to be honest with you, in all likelihood, they probably will be the favorite to win it all next year. If Boston isn't the favorite to repeat, I think that the Timberwolves will be the favorite to win it all. I'm almost picking the Timberwolves to go to the finals next year. But once again, congratulations to the Boston Celtics. Congratulations to Jaylen Brown. And at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith with his bitch ass, he should apologize to Jaylen Brown because basically he made Jaylen Brown's name hot unnecessarily. Talked about, from what I hear, people say he's difficult to work with, which to me, I think Stephen A. Smith might have been lying. And Jaylen Brown was like, well, who are your sources? Don't ever say and prefer to a black man as being too smart for their own good. That scares the shit out of the powdered milk village. Hey, Miss D. I didn't. I mean, now that it's over, Miss D, we got to be completely honest. When it's all said and done, and when it's over, and you get the final analysis to find, this wasn't very much of a series. There were times where it looked like it could be a competitive series, but then when you really just thought about it, the Celtics just had their way. You just got to keep it 100. The Celtics just had their way with the. They had their way with the with the Mavericks. It wasn't a very competitive series. Listen, even when the Mavericks won Game 4, there was not a shadow of a doubt that Boston was going to win tonight. That's why I didn't even bother talking about it, because I knew Boston was going to get them out of there. I knew Boston was going. I knew Boston was going to seal the deal, and basically get this over with. I just think that they just wanted to do this on their home court, and that's fine. They wanted to celebrate in front of their fans, and you can't knock it for that. And I saw what's that dude's name? Donnie Wahlberg there, of course. Didn't see his brother though, but I'm picking. Listen, I'm serious. I'm thinking about picking the Timberwolves to win it all. If they can keep that team intact, I think they make some minor adjustments. I think that the Timberwolves will be the favorite to come out the West. They're a young team. I think Anthony Edwards will be better. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be a serious MVP contender. I just think with all that being said and done, I think Anthony Edwards need to kind of like keep a watchful eye on his off court situation, especially with the mother of his child. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100. She's starting to be in the news a little too much, and that could be a distraction. I think she just needs to play the background. I understand that you have a baby with a celebrity and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think you have, when you have a child with a celebrity, a lot comes with that. Because at the end of the day, this is his bread and butter, and he this is how he pays the bill, and I don't think you need to be a distraction. I just think to a certain degree, people don't understand what comes with that. So that's all I'm gonna say, because I don't I don't want the black man haters club to come after me. I don't want to be, I don't want people to say, oh, you're trying to break up a black couple. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to break up a black couple to no more than you told Simone Biles to leave her husband for no reason. I mean, so but we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. Rudy, I'll say this much: Rudy Gobert need to give back that defensive player of the year, because he went. I mean, he went missing. I'm talking about he went old school Chuck Norris, like from the '80s, missing in action. He need to give that. He need to give that trophy to charity or something, because he definitely went missing in action. Yeah, I agree. I agree that the Mavericks was one of them teams, because I'm gonna be honest with you, they shouldn't have beat the Timberwolves. But the Timberwolves, to a certain degree, they had a mental collapse, and then Anthony Edwards, unfortunately, he gave them bulletin board material, which now that bulletin board material is null and void due to the fact that Kyrie Irving just had a toilet bowl of a game, 15 points. Once again, him not being able to play good in Boston. So, nah, Jalen Brown is that dude. But I just had to put that out there. I had to take a shot at Christoph Porzingis, because like I said before, that got swept under the rug what he did. He got swept under the rug. The NBA paid no attention to it. And you got Stephen A. Smith always sitting up wagging his finger at everybody else, always trying to be the Negro whisperer, the Negro watchdog, but then he don't say nothing about these white boys, or he treads water when it comes to talking about these white boys. He loves to talk about, but wait till the facts come out and all this kind of stuff, and then he soft shoes it. But you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to a brother, he come in there with his boots stomping, So I just had to say, oh boy. I'm gonna be honest with you, James. I'm not even gonna watch ESPN, and I'm begging y'all, please don't send me no stories. Please don't send me no stories saying that they going in on Kyrie Irving, because that's about to start probably, and probably right now people gonna get an early jump on blaming, because they need somebody to blame for them losing this series. And it'll be Kyrie Irving, because it's easy to make him the villain in this. It's going to be easy to point the finger at him, even though the Dallas Mavericks got absolutely nothing out of their bench. So please don't send me, please don't, please, because I already know what's going to happen. I already know what's going to happen. People are licking their chops, waiting. When I say people are licking their chops, waiting to go in on Kyrie Irving, we know what's going to happen. We know damn well what's going to happen. Now, what the Mavericks is going to have to do, the Mavericks is going to have to find some more reliant shooters. On defense, they're decent, but they just don't have good enough firepower. They don't have people that you can bring off the bench and provide instant offense. So, with that being said, they're going to have to figure out what they need to do. But hey, what's up? They're really gonna have to like see can they find them. They're gonna have to see can they find somebody, some extra shooters, um, some people that can provide offense instantly off the bench. They just didn't have it. They just didn't have that. They just didn't have that consistency that requires you to be able, you know what I'm saying, to reach the finish line. And I'm sorry, Dallas was clearly outmanned, outgunned. They were beat in every step of the way. I said this when this series began, and I knew by the first two games, I knew that the Celtics had too much firepower for the Dallas Mavericks to keep up. It's like, I'll put it to you this way. It's sort of like if you was at the Sears, I forgot what it's called now. I forgot where it is. I know the Sears racetrack. I forget, it's in the 707. I forgot what, I think it's Santa Rosa or something like that. It's sort of like, I don't know. It's sort of like you having a souped up like Nissan Sentra, and that's what the Dallas Mavericks was, trying to compete with like a Hellcat. Even when you would get within range, the Hellcat would just tease you, and then it'll just and it'll just speed off on you. That's pretty much what was going on with the Mavericks and the Celtics. The Celtics was they was the challenger. They was the Hellcat. They was the Hellcat. And Dallas Mavericks was like a souped up Nissan Sentra or something. Just didn't have what it takes. Man, Stephen A. Smith, I'm telling you, Stephen A. Smith somewhere, probably, I don't know. I don't want to get graphic, but he's somewhere, man, he probably somewhere doing the Holy Ghost dance, because he probably can't wait to get on First Take. Yeah, yeah, but Joe Mazzulla, Joe Mazzulla is what, like 34? That's amazing. Dude is like 34 and won a chip. And he was like a temporary replacement, and they decided to like sort of like and they gave him the job. And I just want to say this is real talk. And fuck Malika Edwards too, when she brought up what happened to him when he was in college. Like, get out of here. Yeah, oh, 35. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that dude is just like, yeah. I know these dudes can't say stuff like that, but I'll say it for him, man. Fuck Malika. I mean, for real. Fuck Malika Andrews for that bullshit she did when she brought, and the town don't claim her. I know she from Oakland, but Oakland, we don't claim Malika Andrews. We don't claim Malika Andrews. That's just real talk. We don't claim her or her sister. Just brought up that stuff for no reason, but then she don't have no smoke for the white boys. But she's supposed to be such you know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be what you would call somebody that stands up for women's rights and the fair treatment of women. But she ain't brought up Porzingis. She didn't bring up. I bet you ain't nobody gonna bring up Christoph Porzingis, what he was accused of doing. But she couldn't wait. She couldn't wait to talk about what allegedly happened with Joe Mazzulla. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm just I'm just putting that out there. I guarantee you, she ain't gonna bring up. I guarantee you, she ain't gonna bring that up about Christoph Porzingis. If you think I'm lying, go look it up. I mean, for real. It's public information. It's public information about Kristaps Porzingis. This story got swept under the rug by the NBA. They swept this under the rug just like they swept the Josh Giddey situation under the rug. But yeah, I just wanted to say that about Malik. There was no reason to bring that up. No reason to bring that up. But then when she got booed, yeah, if they do hate you, well, that's your problem. The same way you be trying to hate on the brothers, the same way you be trying to make people be all in hate the black athletes. So, oh well, too bad, so sad. You know, if you want me to hook you up with some crumble cookie, let me know. I'll send you $650 to get you a crumble cookie. You know. I already know she was hired to be a so-called henchwoman. I mean, it's to the point ESPN don't even hide what they be doing. They don't even hide it. They don't try to hide. What they do is they just throw their announcers and they throw their TV personalities under the bus and let them take the heat. But at the end of the day, the people that's calling the shots and pulling the strings and stuff are the producers. And y'all know for the most part, we don't know their names. And it's hard to get their names and it's hard to get their information. Yeah, I remember that. Man, she looked like she was finna break down in tears. Did she? Oh my God, I have to talk about a white guy. Listen, y'all. I swear to God, if I was like a writer for a comedy skit, I'm telling you, I really think when a black dude get in trouble, I really think that they start high-fiving each other, start break dancing when a black dude, they be like, we got one. I really think they be popping bottles of champagne and all that stuff when a black dude get in trouble or remotely get in trouble. I guarantee you when they have these meetings. Let me tell you what happens when a story comes up about a white guy. This is what they'll do. They'll say, yeah, I don't think our audience is going to be into something like this. I don't think our audience cares too much for something like this. We got to give something to the audience that excites them. Oh, I know what it is. A nigga getting in trouble. I'm telling you, I really believe they be high-fiving each other when a black athlete get in some kind of trouble or even in a questionable situation. And even if it's not that big of a deal, they're going to enhance it. No, I'm good with Al Horford. He worked for it. 17 years in the NBA. He finally got his chip. Workhorse. I'm telling you. They swept that under the rug. The Chad Willer situation. They ain't said nothing about James Dolan. Ain't said nothing about allegedly Bob Kraft going to massage parlors and getting a happy ending. But they always worried about what the brothers is doing. They sure didn't mind highlighting an extramarital affair and a consensual extramarital affair. Ironically, a woman that's attached to the team that has ties to the team that just won the championship. But like I said before, the Boston Celtics, they deserved it. So congratulations, real talk. Oh, that Brent Favre, Brent Favre is a flat out thief. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. They got text messages. They got text messages, emails, all that kind of stuff. And they have not even remotely tried to arrest Brent Favre. Who? I don't be paying attention to them people like that. It's just only certain ones. So that name sounds familiar, but I would have to think about it. I'm not gonna pretend to say that I know who in regards who this person is. So I gotta keep it a buck. So but the name sounds familiar. I just kind of know what the so-called big guns at ESPN do and how they roll. So, but with that being said, appreciate you guys. I'll be back with more later on. I'm out.